Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this video we are going to check out XDC's price chart, and here is a fun fact for you. Right around this low, which is actually about this important area of supply, I actually opened a long position in XDC. Why is that? I'm going to tell you in a bit, but in the short term, let's do a quick analysis and see what is happening. So if you remember, in the previous update, we were right in here and I was calling for a move on the upside, and I said the move itself is kind of predictable and it's not really the main point. You need to pay full attention to the shape of our move. If it's going to be a slow and choppy move up with a lot of overlapping of the waves, that means we are having a correction and we should probably count on yet another move on the downside, and that scenario pretty much happened. I also said if we see a very strong impulse, maybe like a 1 2 3 4 5, which in it we just do not have overlapping of the waves, and especially in that move, if we take this high, at that point we can be bullish in the short term with a bit more confidence, and that definitely did not happen. Now, about the shape of this correction up, I'm gonna say this is actually an A correction structure into wave B, probably in form of an A B C flat and another 5 wave on the upside into our select to about this point. You can also argue this is an ABC running flat, but to about this point doesn't really matter. Now, what is happening starting from this side? So first things first, here's a very important point. I believe you need to count maybe on like another short-term move on the downside. Why? Because in my opinion, now we are having from this point a 1 2 maybe wave 3 correction for another move on the downside into wave 5, and this might be on a higher degree into a larger degree wave 3, and who knows, maybe the current move is just a correction for 4 and we may see another move down into wave 5, and at that point I'm hoping that we get a very strong bounce back in order to especially take this important high about 7.6 cents, and that could be a bit of an early sign for us, suggesting this is actually a bullish setup, and on a higher degree we may have 5 up into 1 correction for wave 2, and the next move hopefully is going to be a good one up into wave 3 and 4 and 5. Now, because I'm thinking this scenario may play out, I opened a long position right in here about 7.2 cents. Where is my stop loss? It's actually under this low about 6.9 cents. And what is going to be more target? Well, the bare minimum one can be somewhere around this high about 7.9, let's say around the 8 cents area. So essentially, I am having about a 3 cents stop loss and around, I believe, yes, at least an 8 cents target, and this is giving me a risk to reward ratio of about 1 to 2.5. and again, pay attention to the fact that I said this is just the bare minimum target. If we are having a massive move into wave 3, we may go all the way up here about like 8.5 to 9 cents area, and at that point my risk to reward ratio is about like 1 to 5, 1 to 6. Now, am I sure about this scenario, which suggests we're going to get a massive move up? Absolutely 100% not. I just took my long position for 2 reasons. Number 1, to keep me paying more attention to what is happening in the short term, and number 2, it just makes sense to open a long position, and that is again because of my risk to reward ratio. Let's say in my analysis overall I'm going to get it right 5 out of 10 times. Now that means I'm basically at that point flipping a coin, because my odds of making money is going to be about 50-50. However, that doesn't mean that overall I'm not going to make any money nor losing some. Let's say in each trade I am going to have about like $1 stop loss, but around a $2 target. In that case, the 5 times that I'm losing money and I am wrong, I am only losing $5. On the other hand, about the other 5 times that I'm going to make money, I am making about $10, which means overall I am up $5. So essentially, my analysis wasn't actually that perfect, but because of my risk to reward ratio and my money management, I actually made some good money, and that is why in here I opened a long position in XDC. So let's hope that after a very small move down we get a massive bounce back, and at that point we can be bullish with a bit more confidence just for the very short term. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in XDC, and until the next update I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.